All right, folks, good morning. All right. I was a little delayed here because I was trying to find somehow my list of stocks was deleted, not from the screen, but uh, my archive of what I was looking at yesterday throughout the day. So don't know what happened to it. I've been looking for it for the last 15 minutes and I can't find it anywhere. So I'm not sure what happened, but also same thing happened for YouTube. Couldn't log in. For some reason, it logged me out. So anyway, now we're back. So just a lot of strange things happening this morning. All right. Let me just go over three stocks from yesterday because I can't go over everything right now. I wanted to review all of the trades, but like I said, my actual list of stocks is gone. I don't know what happened to it, but it is gone. So I had to make a new one, but of course, I have to try to remember every stock that I did yesterday. So what I do during the day is every time a stock comes up that is something that comes up intraday, I'll put it down on a list. But for some reason, that list is now gone, and I did not delete it. So I don't remember deleting it. Maybe I did on accident. I don't know, but it's not there. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and review some of the stocks that we see on the screen. All right, so first there's Rivian. Rivian was a strong move down, not up. Okay, so a lot of you asked the question, are there stocks we can short? Do we only go long? And as I mentioned, I only emphasize long opportunities, buying opportunities, simply because that's what most people do. But also, there's usually more potential for gain on the buy side than the sell side. In my experience, like you'll find these stocks that go up two, three, four times their price, but no stock can go down four times their price because that's impossible mathematically. So you can find a stock that goes down a lot. If there's really bad news, and I mean really bad news, you may have a stock lose 90% of its value overnight. Usually that's like an FDA rejection of a drug for a company that only has one product or something like that. But that aside, um, most of the time when you have a stock going down, it may go down 5%, 10%, maybe even 20%, but usually that's about it. But it's not that hard to find a stock that will go up 20%, 30%, 50%, right? So that's all I'm saying. Like usually you get more room for profit on the buy side. But in this case, Rivian was on its way down, and there was a reason why. Yesterday, they had announced that they were going to raise money. Uh, it was like $1.3 billion, and the way they were going to do it was simple: sell more shares. Anytime you sell more shares of your stock, you're diluting the pool of current stock, meaning that, hold on for 1 second, meaning that the more shares there are available, the less value of each share. It's the same concept as money. The more money that's created, the less valuable it becomes. Well, under certain circumstances. So if a company creates more shares, it's not like their market cap goes up because they made more shares. Remember, their company, their business, their operations, their revenues, etc. If all you had to do was create more shares to increase your revenue, then every company would just keep creating more shares. But that's not the way it works. The revenues, the products, the services, the inventory, the assets all stay the same. The only thing they did was issue more shares. So since the assets, the values of the company stays the same, but there are more shares available, each share becomes less valuable. That's simple. So all that happened here, for the most part, was the price adjusted downwards, but you also had the downward trend of the market itself, the Nasdaq, which also pulled the stock even farther. So now that it has adjusted, we'll see what happens today and going forwards. But that's pretty much all that happened yesterday for Rivian. But if you did short sell it, that it did have some nice opportunities. Right from the open, it sold off. So we were watching it to see what would happen. It just sold off. So if you were a short seller, this one pretty much signaled where it wanted to go right away. After that, you have a lot of rebounding moves that are trying to go the other way. But I think once the overall market started to downtrend, that was squashed right away, and then it just resumes its downward move. So not bad if you were short that stock. All right, next up is TDUP. Now TDUP had a nice strong move up. Sorry, let me move this over. Okay. Had a nice strong move up at the open, right? Then a really sharp pullback, but then it just turns around nice and slow. And at 227, that was where I set my alert to let me know once it got there, because it looked like it was going to go up again. And sure enough, it did. So it just followed through and eventually topped out here at about 280, let's just say 289. So roughly a 60 cents move, not bad for stock this price. And then you have your sharp retracement there, which basically lets you know that the move is probably over. Okay. Also on that move down, notice that we kind of flat line here, drifting lower, and then suddenly a sharp move down below this consolidation. Like over here, you peak and you drift sideways and then you pop back up, right? In other words, if this bar here went the opposite direction, that would be your clear evidence it's time to get out. So in this case, fortunately, all the consolidation was above the VWAP channel. So when this dropped, it wasn't like you really lost that much. You could get out and still take a pretty good profit at about 270, right? So you may lose about 19 cents a share, which you don't want to lose, but that's probably what you would need to lose to know that that trend was over. So that one wasn't bad. Then we had PTGX. This was a really good mover, solid mover. Okay. So starts off today, gapped up, small pullback to the VWAP, moves up again, nice move sideways, drifts lower. Now this right here is a perfect setup for a retracement kind of trade. And we talk about this a lot in the room, that you don't always have to catch the first part of a move. If you get a long pause in a move and then it resumes later, which happened here, those can often be very, very effective. So as it's turning around, going back through the channel to the other side, and in this case, it didn't have a far distance to go because the channel is so narrow, which makes it even better. So you had a long period of consolidation, a long period where it was retracing some of the gains that it made. In other words, it went from here to here, then it pulls back slowly, and then bam, turns around, makes that next solid run up. That's great. Okay. So in short, this was a very good move. It was completely exploitable. It started at 1:30 Eastern and it just kept going. So if you caught that, good. And if you caught the first part, which we did notice somewhere around here, good as well. So this one gave us pretty much a double dose, a double helping of good movement. And well, that was a really good one. Okay, now that being said, let's look at what's happening pre-market today. Okay, so scanning the universe of stocks here. Let's just see what is moving in the pre-market. So first up, let's type in EDBL, edible. Okay, it's not trading enough shares. It is moving pre-market, but the volume is too low. Okay, we really want to look for stronger performers, so I'll skip that one. All right. Next up is FRTX. This one is definitely moving. Okay. This has 9.3 million shares, up 87.4% roughly. Stock is currently up. Let's see. Warren Buffett boosts stake. No, that's not the one. That's another stock. Um, Fresh Tracks Therapeutics announces positive top line results. Okay, so that was why. Now, we can't say that this is going to last. We don't know if this is going to keep moving after the bell rings. Remember that a lot of these stocks will be pump and dumps. They'll be up pre market and then they'll fall off, right? So up, sideways, down, up some more. Okay. So that's what it did pre-market. You can't see it because it's not on my screen. Sorry. But we'll add this to our radar for this morning. Symbol is FRTX. FRTX. We're adding that to our pre-market list. All right. Let's see what else we got. UNCY, which actually had a good move yesterday. That one I forgot about. So UNCY was good yesterday. Had a pretty good move right there. That was yesterday's action. Now, I didn't watch this pre-market. One of you asked me about it, but I said that at the time the volume wasn't right, the volatility wasn't right. But after the market opened, I watched it and it did start to go up. I'll let you guys know. So I had a nice move up here and then a secondary move up there. So this one was good yesterday. Now, presently, it's not trading enough volume, but of course it could do that after the open. So I'll put a star for that one to keep an eye on it, even though right now it doesn't look like it's doing the right thing. But if it starts to, then I'll take a look at it. All right, Soundhound got hurt this morning. Currently down 9.57% on about 1.2 million shares. This is off of earnings, so earnings didn't come out as good as expected. Um, Looks like their forward guidance is the problem. They lost less money than they were expected to lose, but apparently their guidance is not good. But I'll put that on our radar since earnings hit. You probably will get some follow through movement of some kind. So SOUN is now on our list for this morning. All right, moving on. The stock is down. SHLS currently down 9%. I don't think this is enough volume, so I'll skip it for now. Okay, Kimball International is up sharply. All right, so this stock is up sharply, KBAL, and we'll go over why really quickly. So Kimball International is up sharply. It's trading currently at about 11. Waiting for a trade to go off, but none have gone off yet. But it's currently trading, there you go, at 1184 at 1187. Okay, what's going on here? Well, the company is being acquired by H&I Corporation for $485 million. The total implied per share consideration of $12.90. Okay, let me read it's a cash and stock deal. Okay, so this deal is cash and stock because I was wondering why the price is so much lower, $1 lower than the implied buyout price. It's because that the company is being bought out with a combination of stock and shares. So this one could move today, but I don't know what to expect out of it. So I would skip KBAL. since you'd have to keep track of the other stock, H&I Corporation, and basically the value of the H&I stock plus the cash would equal the value of the buyout, but that's too hard to keep track of. So I would skip this one, and probably this will never be on our list again since it's being bought out. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Okay, here's another one. Another buyout. Looks like mergers and acquisitions are becoming a thing again. 6.8 million shares, up 37%. This stock is being taken over as well. It will be acquired by Solenis, the company Solenis, for $4.6 billion. So that basically means that there's not going to be anything we could do with this stock. It's already done what it needs to do, and that's that. So it's currently up about 37%, but there won't be any opportunity to trade it. Since now it's gone up, it's not going to have anywhere to go. Although it's under $1, I'm just going to mention SIDU is very active pre-market. This is a stock I've been watching, looking for it to one day successfully trade above $1. It hasn't yet, but it's active again today. So obviously we won't be trading it. We can't because it's under $1. And since it's under $1, the quotes are sub penny, and we can't do sub penny trades. So therefore, this is not something that will be tradable in our account. So therefore, there's no point in following it. But just mentioning that if one day the stock does successfully stay above $1, we'll start looking at it. All right, let me try to speed up here. RIGL will be on our radar today. Currently trading 8 million shares, up 23%. RIGL is now on our radar. That's moving after earnings. We'll see if it can continue to move after the bell. Let's see, Rivian. Let me just see what type of volume Rivian's trading. Yeah, a lot. 5.3 million shares, unchanged. All right, I'm not going to put Rivian on our list, but we already know the stock, so it'll show up on our radar anyway if it starts to move. I'm skipping VRAX. And that's it. Okay, so we've got everything for today. So to recap, we've got FRTX, SOUN, and RIGL. And we'll keep an eye also on UNCY just in case it starts to move a little more today. As far as economic data is concerned for today, we have trade balance that's already been released, came in as expected. Non-farm employment change came in better than expected at 242,000. Not good. Good for the economy, I guess. Bad for the market. We've got more testimony today from Chairman Powell. That's at 10 o'clock Eastern, so it'll be half an hour after the open. We'll also have Jolt's job openings at the same time. So that's going to be a lot of action. Also, we're going to have the Bank of Canada rate statement and overnight rate. The reason why I think that's important is because Canada is one of our top trading partners. So therefore, what happens there tends to influence us here and vice versa. So lots of major news being announced today. The market should be quite volatile, which means that if you're good at trading stocks that keep changing directions, but they keep moving consistently for a while, this will be your type of day. If you don't do that well, in other words, if you have a hard time changing direction in the trade when you can see the market's turning around and you like to hold and you can't get out very easily, then today it's going to be more difficult. So if you're in that boat, be much more selective about what you do today. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself in trouble. If you're very good at just flipping back and forth, long, short, and stocks, then this will be your day, most likely. So we got a lot of major news being announced at 10 o'clock Eastern. Crude inventories come out at 10:30. I don't expect that will have a major impact on the market unless the number is a big surprise. But other than that, we're already feeling the impact of the non-farm ADP non-farm employment change. So taking a quick look at the Nasdaq. Um, Obviously, we had a nice swing up here. Nasdaq's been mostly coming down. Pre-market, we are basically slightly higher, but not by much. Okay. All right, folks. So that wraps up the pre-market pulse. I will now move into the coaching room. Um, so for those of you who may be logged in and aren't part of our service, but checked out this live stream, be sure to check out fundertrading.com, our website, to learn how we fund traders. Everyone else, I'll see you in the coaching room in a few minutes.